Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step by step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Affirmation Addict podcast. This is Pyle, and I'm going to talk about understanding money energy and how to manifest money. I feel like it's one of my most popular questions I get asked. So if that's something you're working on, stay tuned for the episode. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Agarwal. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited to give you a little bit of a deep dive into how to manifest money and how to work with money energy. So what you're going to learn during this call is you're going to learn the foundational concepts to manifest money. And I really want to remind you that if you listen and apply these concepts and teachings, you will start to see shifts. The biggest thing is you have to apply them. You have to actually take action. I think it's so easy to listen to podcasts, absorb everything we're talking about, but a lot of us actually forget to take action. We forget to do something different. So the things we're going to cover are the relationship between the intangible energy of money and the tangible sides of money. We're going to take a look about how you feel around money. So I'm going to ask you a lot of introspective questions. We're going to dive into a little bit about why you might not have been manifesting money up until this point, and obviously staying into how to manifest more money. And if you stay until the end, I have a really cool surprise that I'm going to share with you at the end of the episode. So moving on, I want to explain to you what money energy is. And the best way to understand it is to first think about, what does the word money bring up to you? What do you feel when I say the word money? Does it feel like it's hard to come by? Does the energy of money bring maybe a little bit of discomfort? Maybe you're judging yourself for wanting money. Are you kind of judging, like, am I not spiritual enough for wanting money? And can you feel like there's a block or some resistance in this area of your life? So take a pause, doing whatever you're doing, and just acknowledge, where are you right now? How does money feel to you right in this moment? And you're probably driving or doing something, which is probably why you're listening to me on audio. And so I want you to think about and just make a mental note of how money feels right now. Maybe it feels a little bit overwhelming. Maybe it feels stressful. Maybe it feels out of reach. Maybe it brings up some anxiety. And on the other hand, maybe it does feel freeing. Maybe it feels expansive. But be really honest with yourself. This is really for you. So you have no one to prove to. You have no one to kind of show what it feels to you. Use this as a learning and a growth opportunity for yourself. So what I want to remind you is that money is so much more than just the cash in your wallet, the numbers in your bank account, or whatever you see on your screen. Money is actually an energy that's responding to the energy that you are radiating. And I'm going to dive into this a little bit later. Money is also a frequency that's aligning to the frequency that you're vibrating on. And lastly, money is a tool of exchange that wants to be used for its true purpose of exchange. So these are the three foundational concepts that we are going to dive into and break up today's episode by. So I want to acknowledge that everything I've mentioned is totally intangible, because when we think of money, we most often think of the tangible side. So we think of the money in our bank account, the wallet, our credit cards. That's the type of stuff we think of, or the things that we can buy if we have a lot of money. We think of the tangible, but notice every single thing I said was intangible. Energy, frequency, exchange. Those types of things are intangible. And it's truly my belief that the intangible aspects within us, so like our thoughts, our own feelings, our own perceptions, are actually what are shaping our tangible reality. So I want to take you through a money journey from the intangible side so that you can start to see a shift in the tangible aspect of your life. So, looking deeper into money as energy, let's assume that money energy is something that's responding to the energy that you radiate. So, I want to invite you to ask yourself this question: what is your energy like when you're opening up your bank account? I know for me, for such a long time, I would either totally avoid this, or opening up my bank account would give me a lot of anxiety. I would be scared to see what number would come up. I would be nervous that there was not enough, or that I would see an unexpected bill. That's the energy I would put out. And so I want to walk you through a couple scenarios, and depending on what you feel, hopefully this can help you understand the way money energy actually is responding to you. So, based on what I said, I felt really anxious, right? So, when I'm anxious and I open up my bank account, money energy is going to respond by showing up, or maybe not even showing up, in ways that make me feel anxious. On the other hand, if you feel grateful when you're opening up your bank account, money energy is going to respond by showing up or not showing up in ways that make you feel grateful. So, to see that difference, some examples are: if you're feeling anxious, you're opening up your bank account, money energy wants to make you feel more anxious because it's just responding. It's a mirror, right? So, maybe the anxiety will come from an unexpected bill of $1,000. Maybe it'll come from a random deduction that you don't know about and you have to call a bunch of places to figure out. On the other hand, if you're feeling grateful, money wants to be like, okay, let's make you feel even more grateful. So, whatever makes you feel grateful is how money is going to show up. Money might come in unexpected amounts. Maybe you'll get a free coffee from somebody. Maybe you'll manifest a totally unexpected refund in the mail and you get a nice $500 back in your bank account. All of these are not just made up examples. These are all things that have happened to me based on my energy. And so I want you to understand that money energy is just responding to the energy you are radiating when you're interacting with it, when you're talking about it. And so the best way to think about this, if as we move forward, if this concept is kind of confusing, is to think about money like a person. Okay. Thinking of money as a person, the way you interact with it, how would money feel if it was your friend? Maybe money comes into your life and you're like, oh, I'm so grateful, but then you always feel like it's never enough. That person's going to feel like they're not being respected, they're not being valued, right? So, thinking about money, personifying money, might help you understand these ideas a little bit deeper. Moving on, let's talk about money as a frequency. So, assuming that money is a frequency that's aligning to the frequency you're vibrating on. Now, if you're kind of confused with frequency versus energy, I'm putting in frequency as our thought processes and our belief systems, because I think that'll help us think about money in a different way. So, if you think about money, what frequency, so what thoughts or beliefs come to mind when you think about money and the way it works? So, do you think money can fall into your lap, or do you believe that money doesn't grow on trees, or that you have to work really hard to get it? What are some of your belief systems that are radiating a frequency that money is directly responding to? So, to dive deeper, if you think money is hard to come by, money will respond by making sure it's harder to come by in your life experience. As simple as that, right? If you feel like wanting money is greedy, you're going to find evidence of money being greedy, or people who have money being greedy, everywhere you look. On the other hand, if you start to believe money flows to me easily, you will start to notice money literally flowing to you easily, because that's just the way it works. It is responding to the frequency of your thoughts and belief systems. So it's a really cool way. This is where affirmations play an awesome part into reframing and rewiring your current thought processes. And lastly, let's look at money as an exchange. So, assuming that money is a tool of exchange, craving to be used for its true purpose. So, I want to ask you, what is your relationship with money when it comes to using it for exchange? When it comes to spending money, what are your immediate thoughts? Do you like saving it? Do you feel like you can spend it abundantly and openly? Do you feel like you have to get a discount? What is your spending habit? What is your exchange habit when it comes to money? So, if you're someone who wants to save money, maybe for a rainy day, for if something bad happens, money is going to respond by feeling suffocated, or like it's not being honored for its true purpose. If you feel like your money is always flying away and you don't know when it's going to come back, money won't feel respected for the benefit you actually got by spending it. Lastly, if you always are someone who looks for deals and discounts and won't ever pay full price, money is going to show up in your life at a discounted rate as well. On the other hand, if you start to spend money by giving and openly giving, you'll most likely start to receive just as much because you are honoring money's true purpose. So it's really interesting how these things work. And I wanted to share these three things with you. So, number one, understanding money as an energy, as a frequency, and as an exchange. Okay, so now that you know the three aspects of how money works, I want you to think about how can you start to shift your aspects of these? How can you start to shift the way you interact with money in these intangible ways? Because once you start to shift that, the tangible ways money shows up into your life will absolutely start to shift. So, how do we actually make these shifts? You start by managing your energy. So, managing your energy means that you're managing your energy, your thoughts, your feelings when you're interacting with money. And that starts by just noticing. It starts by self awareness. So, do this without judgment. And honestly, you're starting to do a lot of that already just by listening to this episode. If you're taking those moments to pause and reflect, you're already starting that. So, do this with grace. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind. Don't be too judgmental. Just observe. Be aware because anything you notice, you can also shift if you don't like it, right? The second part is actually where the magic starts to happen is the rewiring and the reframing. So, once you notice which thoughts you can improve or where you can improve and what interactions you can improve in, you'll be able to actually sit and pause and choose a new thought that serves you better. So, say you are spending $100 on something. Typically, you're triggered and you're like, do I have enough money? But this time, what you're going to do, you're aware, so you know this is a triggering moment. You go up to the cash register and you're ready to pay, and you notice the thought creep up. You notice, do I have enough money? So just pause. Don't acknowledge the thought. Just pause, notice it, and say, actually, I do have more than enough. You're just in your mind slowing down a little bit, replacing those triggering or thoughts that don't serve you as well with better serving thoughts, with better affirmations that are in alignment with you and how you want to interact with money energy. This is truly where the affirmations come in. The repetition is absolutely paramount when you're trying to rewire and reframe your beliefs. You need that repetition. And until you don't even realize it, it will start to shift, but you have to keep doing it over and over. And lastly, acting differently. So this is truly where the real magic is, where I think a lot of us, we're very in our heads. The affirmations are very comfortable. I'm just saying it. I don't have to do anything. But acting differently with our money is the hardest and most uncomfortable part, right? This is truly where that magic is. And if you have no idea where to start, just act differently than you usually would. Maybe you typically get a paycheck and you save 50% of it. Maybe save 40% of it and spend 10% on something that's important to you. Maybe yourself, maybe a loved one, maybe a charity you want to donate it to. Just do something different because the moment you start to shift the way you work with the energy, different things have to happen. That is law, that if you act differently, different things must come. And so this is where I really invite you to start thinking about how can you start to act differently. And I want to remind you, it will be uncomfortable and you're going to have to keep going through this cycle. So to recap, the three things I want to remind you, it's kind of like a cycle in your head. If you can visualize a cycle where the first thing you do is manage your energy. The second thing is you rewire and reframe. The third is you act differently. But as soon as you act differently, that cycle is going to start back up again because acting differently is most likely going to trigger some different thoughts where you need to work on managing your energy. And so don't think that the cycle is just a one-time thing. It's an everlasting cycle that you're always going to be on. So don't think that it's wrong or that you're doing something wrong if it feels uncomfortable. That's actually your biggest sign of growth is when you're doing something uncomfortable. So I want you to sit one moment right here and hold yourself accountable. How are you going to start making these shifts? Maybe write down an intention as to what you're going to do to act differently. How are you going to serve yourself? How are you going to serve and work with money energy in a different way to serve you and this entire world in a different place? Once you've acknowledged that, I want to acknowledge that this is just the foundation. This was just a little snippet into what's possible when manifesting money. This is simply scratching the surface. These foundational ideas are so important. And if you can really start to apply them, your life will change. And I can absolutely guarantee that. However, I know that it's really hard to do that. I know it's hard to stay accountable. I know it's hard to just continue living it out. And we want some more guidance. So if you want more guidance, I wanted to invite you into my exclusive program called Abundance Mastery. It's an 8-week program, and I've created it in order for you to experience an energetic formula to master abundance. We use your chakras to internally align, and it's an opportunity for you to transform your mind and the way you think. And so Abundance Mastery is open until November 1st. That's when the course starts. So you have, if you're listening to this today, you have just a couple more days to register, and the links are in the podcast notes or on my Instagram. But Abundance Mastery is such a powerful program. It's 8 weeks. And the coolest thing is I have 2 ways you can go about it. So you can go about it kind of in a DIY way where you do it yourself and you're kind of taking yourself through it. Everything is pre-recorded. It's led by me. It's video modules by me. You have cool workbooks. You have all these bonuses. You have amazing stuff in there that will equip you for ultimate success. So you can do the self-paced route, which is at a much lower price. It's only $397. And we also have payment plans. So you can literally start for just $79 a month. And on the other hand, if you want a little bit more of an accountability partner, a support group, we have a version called Transform. So this one, you get weekly group coaching calls with me every single week of the program. And you also get a 24/7 community group chat, which has me in it too. So it's a very supported, guided, and kind of community journey, whereas the other one is a lot more self-paced and you have to hold yourself accountable. And so both of these are available to you, and you get to pick which plan you want to do. The course content is the same. It's just the journey is a little bit different, whether you want to do it solo or you want me to support you throughout the way. So I just am so excited to see you guys in there. There's already a lot of you in there. I've already welcomed you, and I'm so happy you're there. But I would love to have you in there. Doors close on October 31st. And so please come join. This is a perfect way for you to start to change your money mindset. And the coolest part that I love about it is it starts on November 1st, and the last week is the week before 2022. So it's the perfect way to take yourself and have a high vibration through the end of the year, starting 2022 on an awesome foot. And so if this is of interest, you can DM me if you have any questions, email us, or if you're ready to go, head to the link in the show notes and you can check out immediately. And everything is ready for you. We're so excited to welcome you. So I hope this little intro to how to manifest money was helpful. And I also really hope to see you inside of the Abundance Mastery course. It is a program that I wish I had. I know how hard it is to really change your money mindset, feel expansive in your career. And so this is something created with so much intention that I know it will change your life. And I hope you can take that leap of faith, not only for yourself, but with me as well. So thank you so much for joining for today's episode, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. So, how did you like today's episode? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And before you leave, I wanted to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me. If this episode or any of my content has ever inspired you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could leave a review in the iTunes podcast app and just share this with someone you care about. The more you guys leave reviews and share this with people, the more I am able to create more content for you, and that's what fuels me and keeps me going. I am so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing energy. Bye.